Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life. We're going to have so much fun together.
Well, hey, hi, welcome to Down Home Horror, where we keep the hall light on for you. Today, I'm super excited. I bullied our dear Amber into doing a reaction video to the FNAF teaser trailer. It's 47 seconds of delight. I have done so much research on this in the sense of I have watched Matt Pat talk about it. I have watched several other YouTubers. Okay, 47-second long video. Matt Pat did over an hour talking about this video, talking about Easter eggs, talking about things, talking about like how like zooming in on things. We're not going to be those people. He did it already. He's the king of FNAF. We're not here to step on any toes. What we are here to do is talk about how freaking excited I am about this movie that has had such a roller coaster of emotion for if this movie was even ever going to be made. It's going to be done by Blumhouse, in case you didn't know. So you know it's going to be good. It was with WB, and for reasons they canned it, and then Blumhouse picked it up. So
good for that
stuff, right. Okay, I have more to say, but I know, Amber, you don't know too much about this, right?
So.
Okay, so I want us to watch the trailer first, and then I'm just gonna a bunch of fun facts on everybody. Everyone gets to go on this journey with me. So come along, it's gonna be fun. So if you haven't seen the trailer beforehand, we're going to watch it right now, live time. If you want to watch it for your very own self, don't worry, the link will be in the description. We do have to mute a part of it because of very copyrighted songs. So it is just a brief moment, and I'll be in charge of that. So you don't have to worry about that. Amber doesn't have to worry about that. Fingers crossed. And we're going to go now.
Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where fantasy and fun come to life. Hit it, guys.
We mute for a second. Just
if you're watching this video, it means you've been selected as Freddy's newest security guard.
Hello?
We're going to have so much fun together.
Oh, my boy.
Ball pits. Oh my god! So, okay. This is gonna be my like Lord of the Rings. Did you know Viggo Mortensen actually like broke his foot during that scene? This is my thing. The animatronics are not CGI.
Shut up.
It's the Jim Henson crew that came in. And so those are real. As far as we're aware, everything about those animatronics is that they are real. I'm sure at some point we'll see something CGI, like the eyes, or I don't even know. That might not even be. That might be practical effects. The whole studio, that they built they built the thing. It's not a CGI background, which I feel like we've gotten really in the habit of doing in movies. This is like a real true blue set. And like looking at okay, hang on real quick, disclaimer, I'm very excited for someone who has only played the first game, and that was last October, so really not even a year ago did I first play this game. Here's what I have done, however. As of last spring, I watched Sagan Hawk's 4-hour retrospective. I've watched Wendigoon's timeline. I've watched a shit ton of Matt Pat theories. I think those were the main three, but basically whenever I see someone put out a retrospective or a time, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll watch that, because I think the story that has come together within these games is one of the best horror stories I've seen, in part because the community has to come together to like theorize about it, and sometimes they're right, most of the time it's not though, and to see people, it's always funny a little bit to see people fight on the internet.
True.
But when something is proven right, or you do get a reveal, people lose their minds over it, and it's so cool to see. I can't think of another horror fandom that has this level of dedication from their fans. Like again, in this this perspective, right, of putting a story together. It's almost as if here's this like global, I don't know, hunt a killer, right? It's such an interesting thing to see people be like, what's Purple Guy? Who is he? Well, it's William Afton, probably, but what about Mike? I'm going to do my best at some point here within this year to give you a timeline of the story and like all the questions people have about this. But I have to let you know, from someone who's only played one game, they could have copy, cut, paste all the stuff from the game into this trailer. They did such a good job replicating things. It's uncanny. Like the screens, the posters, like an animatronics to say that those are real and not CGI is wild.
That's
They
insane.
just pay so much attention to the detail of everything. It's going to be really good, I think. I'm very excited about it.
I'm weirdly excited. Like I guess I've technically, now that I asked you about this before we started recording, I've played maybe like 15-20 minutes of the first one. That's it. I've watched people play some of the other ones. I don't know why, but it was never something that was like a huge interest of mine, but you got me interested in it. And now sitting here watching this trailer, I'm like, why am I so hyped for this?
Even with the context, it looks like a good movie.
It does. And Matthew Lillard is in it. So like, just a note to any film production people out there. You sell me on a film if Kyle Gallner or Matthew Lillard are in it. Those are my Scream Kings, and I will watch anything that has them in it. Thanks.
They have a special place in our heart for different reasons. He's always my Shaggy. There's no one else who can be Shaggy for me, and he did such a beautiful job with that. So, but I'm of the same camp. Like, he can do no wrong. He can do no wrong.
No.
Of course. Spoilers. Hey, sorry. He's playing William Afton, who's like the main bad guy. He is the murder face guy. So he is the main villain. Although there are some people who are credited within the IMDb that's like female villain. So I don't know who that's supposed to be. They're like not revealing everything yet. There's some question about the characters about this. So there's Abby, which people are saying is an anagram for baby, which is a animatronic that took one of the kids early on. The main character, Josh Hutcherson, is Mike. There's a recurring Mike character within the games. Is it Afton's son or is it just a different Mike? We don't know. I have some theories, because who doesn't? When they show Josh being strapped into the seat, Mike in this case, and you see the whirligigs from Freddy after him, I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think it's a nightmare sequence. Same thing with the kids behind him, which are presumably the kids that got killed and stuff in animatronics. That I think he's just going to have a series of nightmares, which there is nightmare theories within the FNAF world too. So they're not confirmed, but there's like this whole nightmare edition of animatronics. I don't have enough time in this video to talk about all the little itty bitty details. So it's coming. People who are FNAF fans, bear with me, it's coming. But I don't think that's a real sequence. I keep hearing people say, "Oh, he's actually going to be in trouble." I'm like, I don't think so. I don't. I think that's just a spooky sequence that they're throwing in. The brief scene of a woman with her hair back. There's theories out there that is Vanessa, who appears in Security Breach, which is the latest game, which had lukewarm responses to it. Because her character's super amorphous, and we're not quite sure where she fits in. The game had like 4 different endings too. It's super wonky. It's like sometimes she's good, sometimes she's not. Who knows? But also doesn't make sense within the timeline of this is supposed to be like one of the first, like going back to the start of the timeline. She wouldn't be there yet. So there's a lot of questions as far as how canon this is to the game, or if it's like an alternative universe situation. Either way, it's gonna be a good movie. I think fans are gonna be really excited.
And speaking of games, I know that it's probably been a couple years now, in regards to Dead by Daylight, everybody flipping their shit about whether or not FNAF was going to be included as one of the licensed chapters. And I think it's convenient that they did their stream a few days ago for their roadmap for the rest of the year, and there's a licensed chapter that's coming out in October. And the movie comes out in October, so I'm curious as to whether or not our FNAF fans are going to finally get their chapter in Dead by Daylight. And if they do, at this point, after watching that, I'm cool with that. Only if Matthew Lillard gets a playable character.
Gosh, it'd be interesting if he did. we're getting Nick Cage. We should be happy with that.
Yeah,
But
this is true.
I think if we did, I think we probably would get the animatronics, like Freddy plus skins, right? Like how they
Yeah.
did Silent Hill. Which is a side note, injustice. We deserve more Silent Hill characters versus just skins, but whatever. Resident Evil, go off. It's fine.
Right?
Bastards. But I only say that because I'm not sure how they would make Matthew Lillard's character a playable killer, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, possibly. Maybe in the future, because there's so much I want to share.
I wonder
I'm
if he
vibrating.
could be a survivor, though. Like, I know you said he's a bad guy. I didn't know that when I first was like, give me Matthew Lillard, please. But even then, like, maybe they have a survivor that's taken
Just
by
a
the
bad-
entity for being a dick.
That would be interesting. That I think would be fun lore-wise. Like,
Yeah.
just pull a bunch of good, quote-unquote people, like, here, pay for your sins. Which, oh yeah, by the way, there's a whole thing for that too. It's fine. I just have so much I want to share, and this isn't the video for it. But it's coming at some point. I'm gonna write so many notes about it.
I'm here for that. I'm here for it.
I'm just trying to think of other things, like trailer-wise. It comes out the same day as Saw, right? But it's also gonna be streamed on Peacock, so it's not just going to be a theater exclusive.
That's exciting.
So I think there's gonna be less competition even then. And you and I
Right.
talked about this off screen too. Of I think different demographics
Yeah.
for people who are gonna see it opening night, right?
Right.
There's people who grew up with FNAF, which is crazy because the first game came out when I was in my first year of undergrad. What is time? I don't like it. It's linear. But there were babies who grew up with this. And I was watching YouTuber FNAF do a reaction, and he almost started crying. And it just was the sweetest thing in the world to see, because this movie's been 8 years in development, I think. So the FNAF community has been like, oh, we're doing this, are we not? And to see, he said he was 23, right? So he was 15 when this game came out.
Wow.
Quick math, right? Not.
I trust.
So there's that there's people who grew up with this and are finally seeing it come to fruition. And
that's so cool.
Even if what I'm gonna say is, even if you aren't a fan or you haven't played the games or haven't watched a ton of hours of YouTube videos about people who have been fans of this game, that it's doing a really good job. You're hyped for a reason, because they are doing an excellent job of practical effects. And I mean, we don't know anything about acting yet, right? Because it's all just a bunch of fast scenes. But be hyped, because you should be hyped, not just because it's a franchise, but because they are doing a good job with it.
Yeah.
The only thing I've heard people say that they don't like is the red eyes. Red eyes isn't canon for
I
FNAF
did hear that.
stuff. But even then, they're like, and to have such a nitpicky community go, like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think most folks have heard or just decided, like, it is what it is.
Right.
When everything else is so top notch. So be excited. So this has just been a fun little episode, a little excitement for the future, and the only thing I'll be talking about for the next until October. But meanwhile, for everything else, hey, Amber, when you're hiding from animatronics, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Amber Blitz, and on Letterboxd also Amber Blitz.
And you can find me over on Twitter at Roll4Alex. I do a lot of actual play tabletop role-playing games, so anything information appearance-wise, you'll find it there first. And probably a lot about my excitement about FNAF. Probably, most likely. So until our next video, be sure to check under your bed for monsters, because I can't.
And I will not.
Bye.
Bye.